Hey everyone, we're back for the next Demolitionist combination, and that is the Saboteur, which is combining a Demolitionist with a Nightblade. Now, I am not a huge authority on this combo, but if you've paid attention to some of the videos on this channel, you'll know I play with Sino, and he has a Saboteur that's kind of amazing. It is based around using the Fire Strike with Static Strike ability, and then the various defensive options from the Nightblade to keep himself alive while he basically swings away at the enemy. So I think the main thing of note here is these classes are very disjointed in their elemental types. I think the only thing they can cross over with is Pierce really well, Pierce/physical. Like, the poison acid doesn't cross, the lightning doesn't cross, the fire doesn't cross, the cold doesn't cross, bleed damage doesn't cross, and there's a little chaos damage in there that does cross over. So let's look at the obvious combinations, which would be the physical pierce stuff, and that would be using Granado and Canister Bomb. Though I don't know if you could build a really solid Grenadier out of this class. Now, I will note, though, that you might be able to pull it off, because the Veil of Shadow with Night's Chill ability, that's a whole lot of negative pierce resistance you can have on enemies if they get close to you. So you could be sitting there, like, just chop-socking everything, enemies cluster around you, and you just suddenly just spam out a ton of canister bombs and granados. It might be really fun to do that. It might be really fun to make a bomber, a mad bomber, out of this class combination. So I am going to point out right now that Pneumatic Burst with Shadow Dance is awesome, and it's awesome here. It's going to be awesome with every combination you do with the Nightblade, because you get the total speed, health regen, that constant, like, easy to have reciprocal heal going on, and then Shadow Dance gets you like 20% avoidance to basically everything that's not a dot, and yeah, it's a really, really solid defensive ability. And you can even take it further, because actually Elemental Awakening is not a bad option here, because it's elemental damage, which means if you're doing some sort of weird cold lightning, fire cold build, or even just a fire or lightning build, or just a cold build, and you have this combination going on, Elemental Awakening will affect all of those. So it's actually not a bad ability in this case, even though you have to go very deep on Nightblade to get it. So, the other combination I mentioned was Chaos Damage, and it's actually kind of a tertiary combination in everything here. It's on Nether Edge, and it's on Brimstone, and then Demon Fire, Agonizing Flames has it for percent for Demon Fire, and then Hellfire Mines. So I'm actually wondering if you could maybe do something weird, like you're using Frenetic Throw, and you're using Hellfire Mines and Blackwater Cocktail as a debuff for it. For chaos damage is a kind of really weird setup there. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's sort of a tertiary damage type on both of these classes, but it does cross over with them, so it's something to think about and consider. But to me, like, to me, this is one of those things where you're gonna build a little weird. So, like, there's that Saboteur Sino has, which is mostly lightning, and then using the Nightblade for defenses, and you can do that with fire as well. But I could also see doing a fire cold build with, like, the Marauder set, which is, pistols, or if you get a good rifle with it, you might be able to pull off using Amarasta's Blade Burst with a two-handed rifle, because Amarasta's Blade Burst works with ranged two-handed weapons, and it can actually deal some good damage. I don't think I've ever tried it, though, and have I tried it? I maybe tried it on a non-optimized character just to see how it worked, but it might be an interesting build to focus around. And yeah, you can actually pull that off now because Pneumatic Burst it works with everything. You don't need a melee weapon anymore. If you want to use Breath of Blagothian, you do need 2 melee weapons. You need to be dual wielding melee weapons. And that incidentally activates melee weapons. But, or dual wielding melee weapons. But, yeah, you can use Pneumatic Burst just with anything now. So it actually is kind of an option for this. Because before, I wouldn't have actually recommended it. But now you can pull it off, I think. Either dual wielding guns or using a rifle. I have no idea if my hand gestures are actually... yeah, they're working. So... yeah, you obviously have, like, flashbangs in there and Ulzin's Wrath, and... I don't know that Mortar Trap or Thermite Mines beyond the Chaos thing I mentioned would be viable. Cold and Bleed on that. Obviously, you have Shadow Strike for moving around. Blade Barrier for an Oh-Poopy button. Blade Trap is kind of an okay snare, but it's not stupid great. That only applies to cold damage. Yeah, it's sort of a disjointed connection here. So Saboteur I would actually list maybe on the lower half of the tier list. Just because it's... you are... like, the Sabo that Sino plays is kind of a little bit reliant on his weapons as well. Because he is using 2 Storm Hearts. And those are easy to acquire legendaries because you basically pick them up in the Tomb of Kevorkian. After you pick up Dahlia's Diary, but you need to kind of do that with 2 characters, which means getting 2 characters in the ultimate. But I mean, they're basically almost freebie legendaries. So it's like, this is kind of a very build, like, gear dependent build combination here. Because I mentioned Cold Fire, but you need the Marauder set as like the basic version of that with the Gunslinger Talisman. And its elite and ultimate variations. So yeah, more build dependent than pretty much anything I've mentioned before. And a little on the disjointed side, but doable in the long term. And there are a couple really interesting builds, like I mentioned before, like a physical Pierce Grenadier, Blackwater Cocktail, maybe with Brimstone or Frenetic Throw on Phantasmal Blades with Nether Edge. Some interesting stuff. And if you are dual wielding melee weapons, you can actually pull off, like, that's part of his Sino Saboteur is using Execution a lot. Because Execution is just weapon damage, and if you're using lightning, it doesn't matter if you're using cold or not. So you can actually just tick that and then work on getting down to Execution. And then you would only go to Static Strike for that build. Because Static Strike with Fire Strike, because it's a main attack replacer, you can use Fire Strike and you have Execution's proc during it. That's the one thing I do want to mention, is your Dual Blades abilities will proc off of your Fire Strike. So that's where you can get a lot of power in there. Oh yeah, physical damage is on Stunjacks, so you could actually maybe pull off a Stunjacks build, but I could see Elementalist or Druid or Sorcerer being a little better for that option. So yeah, little less on the solid side than the other stuff we've looked at so far, but still capable. I've seen it firsthand, and it's a really great build. So yeah, there's potential here. But again, a little more on the gear dependent side for the potentiality. So that is going to cover our Saboteur look. Our look at Saboteur. And next up we're going to be doing the Pyromancer, which everyone knows I hold in high regard. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time for that.